All right, everybody, we're live with the weekly walk-off. It's me, Eric, here with Nate, and this is the World Series special. Let's go.
What's going on, everybody? We're
Oh,
back.
man, we're back. Sorry for being tardy, but hey, man, we made it happen. It's the World Series, 2 days away from us. It's been a hell of a postseason. It's been so much fun, man. It's what it's all about.
Yeah.
October baseball. Can't get enough of it.
Yep. Been watching a lot. Rising World Series matchup for me. Like, obviously, as a Red Sox fan, I hate the Yankees. Although it's a strong word, right? Like, it's not what it used to be. I've also matured in my views of baseball. It's hard to hate guys like Soto and Judge. You know, I barely feel like Soto is a Yankee. But yeah, it's exciting. Dodgers Yankees, like, you can hate it all you want, but what a hell of a matchup. It's the two best teams in baseball. It's the two best hitters in baseball. I mean, it should be a really good series.
Yeah, I mean, you're telling me we got a Red Sox fan and a Giants fan on here hosting
Yeah.
Dodgers Yankees World Series. So
Yep.
I'll say go Yankees. I'm sure you'll say go Dodgers, but um, exactly the same sentiment as you, man. I'm older than I used to be. I hate that I don't hate the Dodgers as much as I used to hate the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani has a lot to do with that.
Yep.
But they're just fun to watch this year, man, and it's undeniable. I've told that to all my friends, my Dodger fan friends, or whatever. It's insane, man. It's an LA New York World Series. What more could you ask for baseball? After just an absolutely incredible season too. So, man, we're down to the wire. What do you think? Someone's going 7 or what?
It sure looks like it, man. I mean, it feels like an evenly matched series. I think that you've got some pitching strengths on both sides. You also have some pitching weaknesses on both sides. The top of both lineups, like 1 through 5, is just insane. The Yankees look as deep as they've looked all year offensively. Edman has been a nice, shot to the arm, and obviously they got Jazz. He hasn't been great in the playoffs yet, but he's been playing a lot of cold territory. I think that getting 4 games in LA should be good for him. So yeah, but yes, there's a 0% chance I'll be rooting for any team other than the Dodgers and Mookie Betts.
yeah, there we go. Man, it's awesome. I want to see in the chat, if you're watching in live right now, let us know how many games you think this thing's going. Would love to see a 7-game series. Obviously, there'd be nothing better than a game 7 for this LA New York World Series, but it is going to be electric. I mean, it's exciting to just even kind of think about here, with all the Sorare stuff that's going on. We are down to the wire at the end of, I think, overall, an amazing season, some improvements from last year, some frustrations, of course, but I got to tip my cap and thank Sorare for a great season all around, and really looking forward to 2025 as well, because some of the stuff that I'm seeing on the basketball end is super exciting stuff. So hopefully that implements into baseball next year. But it is, man, it's been a heck of a season. We were talking about it earlier on. Gamer down here dropped in the chat one of the videos that I put together where I had won like $265 worth of stuff within the first 2 months. I finished the season pretty dang strong, so I'm pretty hyped on it. Got some cash rewards, already $95 cash rewards in just the postseason, not including the chase or the final week. So, that's pretty amazing. So, Gamer thinks 5, Link thinks 7. And I agree, as many Sorare points as possible. So, let's dive into the episode, I guess. I mean, anything that we want to talk about, anything that you guys want to talk about, just pipe it in the chat, because we'll be going today. We have 1 game week to talk about. Basically, we're going to talk about some wins that we've had recently. I guess just the postseason in general, but yeah, man, just kind of enjoying and taking in what the past couple months have given us from the baseball gods. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have definitely been vocal about some of the things I've been frustrated about over the last couple of weeks. But to your point, it has been abundantly positive over the course of the year. Another fun year, another fun playoff chase. It's the playoff chase is truly the best part of Sorare. It's such an enjoyable accumulation of everything that makes So Rare fun. You have the weekly, or like the individual game weeks with individual prizes, and then you stack the chase on top of that. So it's like you're getting to play the monthly chase and champion just kind of like stacked on top of each other.
Yep.
The expanded star bucket on the pro tier has been fun. Yeah, it's been great. I think that there were a couple hiccups with some of the common lineups getting removed without warning for swapping players. Would have been nice to see that. And it's the rollout of Weaver has been a little bit strange, but again, all in all, it's been a positive year. We've had a ton of fun. We've had our dubs, we've taken our lumps, but we've had a good time. And it's, I hope So Rare is not going anywhere, because I'm really enjoying growing my collection and, taking it into next year with some new strategy.
100%. Yeah, definitely some quirky things here. It's kind of towards the final hours, but all in all, just a great season. Again, like you just said, taking some different strategies into next year, learned a lot. I mean, with the collection game being brand new to this season,
Mm-hmm.
that's really cool. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
know what that meant even going into the beginning of the season. So, with the bonuses that we have going, all that goes into it, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
A couple of questions down in the chat here, just kind of talk back here. DJ Local says he leans 7 games with the Yankees. The pitching worked better for him. Freddie healthy would have swayed him another way. I like that take for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Miguel Flaherty bounce back or gets worked again. That's a tough one, man. That was a rough start that he took last time. And I think the Yankees lineup is as dangerous as it can get. So I think he's going to have a really, really short leash, to be honest. The Dodgers bullpen has been nails, like, quite frankly. So I think he'll have a short leash. You would hate to, if he gets banged up in the first, second inning or gets in trouble with walks or whatever it is, then they'll pull him. But hopefully he can go, take the game into the 5th or something and leave it up to the bullpen for there, because I'd like to see it. That means it just close. So,
Yeah.
I personally, trust Yamamoto a little bit better than Flaherty myself. How about you?
That being said, in the So Rare, in the arena of So Rare, there's something extremely appealing about those game 1 starters, right? Because we've seen it time and time again in the playoffs over the last 5, 6, 7 years, where start game 1, start game 4, relief in game 7. So if you have the balls to play him, which, you're going to have a lot of the same lineup getting submitted for this final game week. And that's one of the potential drawbacks, let's call it, of having it be a single game week. But whether you like it or not, irrelevant. The point is that you have to understand what that's going to look like. And if you don't have the top players with really high XP, and you're not already in a top 20 position, then playing that standard lineup isn't necessarily going to help you go very far. So playing a guy like Flaherty, maybe not because you think it's the best chance that he's going to do well, but because if he does well, you're going to be doing something that people were scared off of. I mean, I know it all too well. I scored 287 points last game week with Flaherty in my lineup. That negative 15 hurt to go along with Mookie Betts 93. So I get it. I would be scared to play him too, but the upside is big because Garrett Cole is a chalk play. Flaherty is not, but he still has that game 1, game 4, game 7 upside. So those are the types of things you got to be thinking about in a game week where there are so few options and it's so obvious to play certain cards. A guy like Flaherty becomes a lot more appealing because he got blown up last time.
Yep, absolutely. And, betting on the bounce back has worked a lot of times. I mean, even with players that, I want to say, kind of let you down. Like the guys that jump out like over the postseason who've had their ups and downs, right? Like a guy like Pete didn't do anything one week and then the next week he won you the week. So a guy like Pete, a guy like Vientos, I've had weeks where I've played both of them in different lineups. One of them does nothing. And then the next week you play them again and they come through, Vientos in the Grand Slam or whatever. So it's, you're totally spot on point there. We see some chat coming in about the Weaver Classic at starting pitcher. That's definitely a strategy that people could take a look at. Not many of them out there. They're expensive. I picked one up. I'm in a pretty cool position right now to, kind of make a run at it. So we're going all in. But tons of different ways that you can kind of, take a look at it too. Like you said, going the chalk, going against the grain could pay off pretty well. I will
Definitely.
say Flaherty's no mad bum, they wish.
Yeah.
But, game 1, game 4, relief in game 7 for a guy like him, I think is a lot less likely than a guy like Garrett Cole.
Mhm.
But it's, not against the realm of possibility. So,
For sure.
yeah. Rewards out from last week. Wow. I said my $75 finally hit the account. I needed it.
Did
Miguel.
you get a card too?
Shouts Miguel, because we both needed that for the NBA cards that we've been picking up.
Nice.
Decided to jump in the NBA a little bit, Nate. Eesh.
I wish I could say I would
some
join
money.
you, but I don't know a damn thing about the NBA, dude. Like, I'm pumped for the Celtics. I'm pumped for all my friends that are big Celtics fans. Like, I certainly tune in during the playoffs, but I don't know a damn thing about the NBA. I would be dead money in there.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I mean, we all know, I think MLB is definitely my strong suit, but NBA has a lot of fun too. And it's really fun to follow and play as a fan. I will say what we have in store next season for MLB, get ready. It's kind of crazy. I mean, think of how crazy it was this year setting all your lineups, right? Now multiply that by 3 lineups per.
Mhm.
I think they maxed you out at 6 total though. So if you were going to go in different competitions and limited, I think you were maxed out at 6. I could be wrong on that.
Oh, like between so
Yeah.
you could do multiple entry in a single contest, but all of your combined entries had a max limit as well.
Yes, I believe
Gotcha.
so. At least that's how it looked. And correct me if I'm wrong, Miguel out there listening, probably. What up, Athers, by the way? Welcome. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, so that's how, at least on game week 1, when I played it, that's how it kind of looked. It let me get in my 3 lineups for, or 2 lineups for champ, a couple for contender, and I think 1 other lineup for pro or something like that, or whatever they're calling it this year. But yeah, that was, I think, what it had capped me out at. I
Mhm.
could be wrong, but yeah, 3 per contest, and it just creates a lot more thinking to do, especially if you're playing for that cash, which you know is kind of what we figure this year. It's kind of the way to go.
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about what my strategy is going to be going into next year. And, because we were kind of just like, we had to just figure it out on the fly this year. Right. So we didn't really quite understand until we got into it for a few game weeks, what that breakdown looked like between champ and pro and the classic contest, et cetera. So now that we have a season under our belts, I think that I have a better understanding why some of the savvier collectors went so hard early on what to the naked eye it looks like you're overpaying for the big cards early, when in reality there's never going to be a time where they're more valuable, because when
Yep.
you have one of 12 Otanis, it's a whole lot more valuable when there's 120 or 220.
Yep.
So yeah, you got to have the stake to get in the game, and you don't necessarily have to have Otani either, right? But like, I'm excited to look at that early on, and whether or not I'm playing game week 1, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the market looks like, what those auctions look like. I'm not going to be getting into any bidding wars for the 1 serials, but it is going to be cool to go into a season understanding what the general makeup is for the breakout of games. And there's going to be a lot more classic cards in population now, so limited classics a lot more affordable. It's going to be even more parity between those two. So yeah, we'll see what the strategy is. I love thinking about it. That's the fun of this for me. That's why it's fun that they have the variety of different games, and it should be a good time going into next season.
Yeah, I mean, you could jump on board with DJ Local here, get in just to know enough to understand anything that may come. Something tells me that DJ Local saying that could mean that he's playing rare, super rare, and ending up on podiums too.
Yep. If we know anything about Local.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, it's exciting. It's going to be a different, I think the new element that goes into it, like always like having to sharpen up, and kind of learn on the fly is been, it was cool tool this year. So
yeah,
if we know what's coming through the pipeline with, football and with, NBA, I think that gives us a little edge. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what are we looking at now? I'm gonna go over we can touch on a couple of wins, but we could also look at, like what's going on currently.
Yeah,
So,
let's take a look at the chase. You want to pull it up?
yeah, let's do it.
I'll reveal my tier 2 reward as well at some point here.
Okay. Oh, you got it in the box. Nice.
I got a tier 2 from Pro last game week.
Okay, nice. Let me see here. I've done terrible in the classic contest, by the way. So,
that's where I'm having more success. I'm sitting 121st in that chase right now, so it's the tier 2 bucket. So
nice.
Trying to work my way up into tier 1 or maybe make a run at a star if I can really have a big game week.
Nice. I had this pulled up already, so I'll just run it real quick. Yeah, baby.
This whole thing.
There we go. Up at the top. It's the second rare all-star first place finish of the year.
This was the final game week of the regular season, right?
Yeah, the final game week of the regular season. Like, what a way to end it. It was insane. And
with a 0 from SP.
No, I didn't. No. Budo played.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. The bug. I forgot.
Yeah. There was a little bug. But yeah, I mean, even with that, I played Jose Budo.
Yeah.
And took down first with Adam Ottavino second, right? The Mets had the extra game because of the rain out. So obviously wanted to play the Mets. That was along with the Braves. So went big on them and then threw in Ohtani with a nice 69 and Teoscar, who's been on, many podium lineups for me. Yeah, man, it was a sweet one. And the reward star was a Gunnar Henderson. So feels good. Feels good to go out like that. And then
That's
also a $25 cash on that week also. So since the last week of the season, if you add that on, it's like 125 in cash or 120 in cash. All right. Anyways, here's the chase.
Boston's finest, baby.
Woo, buddy. Hudson River 35. I hope he stays up at the top. If it's not me up there, but good luck to everybody. I know there's a handful of people in here that are, right within that striking distance. So we'll look at the cumulative leaderboard in a little bit, but we can start with common. Where are you at? I'm at 505. I had some dud weeks.
Oh, I'm getting worked.
I got the 0. Okay.
Yeah, I took a 0 in week 1. Actually, you know what? How are you?
You click on, you got to click on the, it's like a little like weird user experience thing. You got to click on the button right here.
I don't even have that at all.
Huh.
My chases have been actually really frustrating to interact with so far. And I'm go back in from the start. Go from the beginning.
I go to play.
Yep.
Sorare Pro.
Yep.
And then I go into championship chase right here.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
As you are. Yeah, there we go. Back to it. Common All-Star. I'm at 505. Nothing crazy, but that first week, I mean, it's going to change up so much just because it's first week,
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to go back in and look at these lineups, though, man. It's like how disappointing, your Orioles were, how disappointing Bobby Witt Jr. was, and how disappointing Judge was at the beginning of the postseason. Like it's, you can tell the story. You can see the story here on all these game weeks. So, I mean, just it's crazy how different it is from the very beginning as teams get eliminated.
You're sitting at 505 with a goose.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Really?
I'm sitting at 1500th with a goose.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
it's not
I'm
gonna
just
matter.
completely dead.
Everyone's goosing on that anyways. Um, I mean, some of the who knows? Maybe some of the top 20 people have a goose too. You never know.
You never know. That is the most unique thing. It's so hard. There's so many entries that, whether we're talking common or limited, that is a very unique element of this final game week where if you had a really bad game week, it's actually an advantage in that you're going to clear it sooner and start adding to your total sooner.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
for example, our good buddy Paul, who is sitting in first place for limited champion, he has actually a relatively high low score because he's been killing it every week, and so it's actually going to put him at a slight disadvantage to hold that position. It's not massive. He can certainly overcome it with the right lineup, but
Right.
it is this wild card where we don't really, it's hard to see where, just how much this final game week is going to impact because, assuming that we get at least 5 or 6 games, you have to imagine that this is going to be most people's highest scoring game
Yep.
week, but it will impact your overall score, much differently depending on how bad your worst score was.
Exactly. Well, we can pull that up too because I'm sitting at 11 overall on the champ chase for limited right now,
Yep.
and I was literally doing that, 10 minutes before
Yeah.
the
Doing the
episode
math.
here, just seeing what lowest scores in front of me, who am I going to be able to kind of overtake quicker. So that'll be super fun to look at. But let's look at this guy who's in first place, Rennie 823 in the common, which is crazy. I mean, he had a top 10 finish last week, which was crazy. 16th overall, but then nothing crazy since then. I mean, 839th, 1791st, and
454 is better than it
454.
sounds
Yeah,
with
454 is
7,000
solid.
people.
Yeah, it's solid.
But
Uh,
yeah, to get 2 top 20 finishes in common is massive.
right. That's cool too.
And he's got an easy score to clear too for his low. It's like 125 or something.
121.
121.
Yeah, 121. So
So he's in good
basically
position.
sitting at 35. So yeah, that's definitely a good score. So let's go into the limited, I guess, and take a look at this. Back into the limited champ. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm still on Rennie's club. Let me back out of this. Back to my lineups. Okay. So here's where I sit. Limited champ, right? 919 points, 11th overall, $100. The top, 6 through 10 get $200. So if I can improve one spot, that's $100, which is crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah.
A $200 prize, like I couldn't get 200 for my Otani or for even my Gunnar Henderson rare right now. So 200 cash, like that just is amazing. But going back to it, you got a 7th place finish, 222, 46th, 151st, and then 102nd. I am dropping off of a 114. So that was a bad one. I got blanked by Kopech. Pete didn't do too well. Otani didn't do well that week. So 114 is pretty low, which is, like you said, a good spot to be in going into the final week.
Yep.
Um,
Nicely done, man. You're in a good position here. You definitely have room to make that move and get into that top 10. Anything after that's gravy, but if you can just make that one extra spot, get from 100 to 200, that would be a very nice way to end the year.
Would love it. Yep, exactly. I mean, we got some shout outs to Machine Dean's right behind me on my tail by 2 points. So I think he's got a lower score that knocks off than me. I did check into his. He's got a 118. What was that?
You're
114?
at 114.
Yeah, so he's at 118. So I'm 4 points ahead there.
Mm-hmm.
NJM, don't know him, but a familiar name. See it a lot. I think he's got a lower score. No, 119 as well. So 5 points closer to that. And then as you go to the cumulative leaderboard, you can kind of start seeing where you're at here. So,
Man, I see Lifesaver. I don't know who that is, but I see that name on a whole lot of leaderboards as well.
yeah, big gallery, always active in the market.
Yep.
Really, I mean, like the consistency on this guy's finishes are crazy. A lot of mine is carried by my week last week. I had a huge, like 300, what was it, 346 or something like that.
Yeah.
Week 5, which like we've been talking about on all the chases, like 1 week can really carry you.
Yeah.
It's fun to see that, because all the points count,
Yep.
11th, 19th, 374, 23, 108. I mean, that consistency on that is insane. It's just that I have 100 extra points just riding on one game week.
Yep.
Wild, dude. He's
Massive.
got 1, 2, 3 of the 5 so far are top 25.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's impressive. So yeah, I mean that it's just fun.
I mean, I know that you're kind of just working your way up here, but if you look at Paul's lineups, his consistency is insane.
Oh yeah, I mean that's Paul. There we go. I wasn't going to go through every single one of them. I don't want to waste everybody's time, but yeah, let's look at Paul's like standing in first right now, 6,500. I mean, props to Sorare for putting up that kind of dough too on these prizes. Like I know they have the money, don't get me wrong, but like that's something that we've never seen before.
Yeah, it's a big prize.
Like that's a nice chunk of change. 43rd, 53rd, 9th, 10th, 10th and 9th. Oh my god, dude.
That's the 9th in the first 2 weeks, so he's just been going wire to wire so far. I think that there was one game week where he slipped into second or third or something like that, but yeah, like I said, his disadvantage is that he's been so consistent that his low score is going to take some time to overcome. But he does have a nice little lead, so hopefully he can put together one more good lineup and take it home.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he does.
Home for you, man.
There we go. Me too. You know it. Yeah, man. So that's nuts. Yeah, 340, 345. I mean, like this lineup was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you hit big on that. You had all the big guys and you didn't have any landmines.
The Vientos was the kicker on that one.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened. I mean, I was playing Lindor no matter what. I mean, when it comes down to it, right, at this point, these have been the easiest lineups for me. I mean, no, they haven't because we've been putting a lot of thought into it, but a lot of them have been somewhat easy. Like it is, you're not going to not play Ohtani. You're not going to not play Lindor. You're not going to not play Mookie. And then it really just kind of comes down to pitching in the 2 flex spots.
Yep.
So yeah. That's that. What do you want to look at? I'll let you run the screen for a bit here.
Yeah, sure. I mean, for me, the unfortunate reality of my 2024 collection is that all my horses fell out of the race. The Mets were kind of the last man standing for me. I considered scooping up some pieces to put in a final game week for Champ, but I'm only sitting in the $25 bucket anyway. So it kind of just felt like it was time to cut my losses. Here, let me pull up my screen. Window, there we go.
Well, we got who else is in here that's got action on? I mean, I wonder where Link's sitting on rare. I wonder where your local's sitting on rare. Oh my, guess who's at the top of the rare contest? Jewy 12218.
Of course. Menace.
Dude is
absolute menace. First place last game week.
Wow.
28th, 96th, 8th, 61st. So an 8th and a 1st. That'll 405.
And he's also in second place for super rare.
So for super rare?
That's a $7,500 prize on super rare and an $8,500 prize on rare.
That'll do.
That's a nice day at the office.
But yeah, so I did okay. Let's see where we go. We lost it. Here we go. Nothing to be ashamed of. I had a 49th place in there that won me a few pennies. But 550th here and 211 here, and then Jack Flaherty. Just this could have been something big. This could have kind of made a push to put me in a different position. Ended up winning $5 from it, but had I had, say, Kopech in here, although that never would have happened because I used Mookie as my classic. But you get the point. It's a quick 30-point swing there that changes things, but such is life. Limited Pro, I am in a little bit better position. 121st overall, mostly better position because I still have the cards to play. Obviously, I could make a decent push in champ if I had the cards, but the Mets were really my last big option there. So I've still got some good cards to play in Classic because I got a bigger collection there. And then I've got this measly 93 that is actually gonna benefit me to be able to kind of eliminate that. That was my worst one. So that's what that looked like for me. Let's see. Who do we got? We got
ended up jumping quite a bit though. I
What's
mean,
that?
121. What's the prize? The prize pool like distribution look like? How far until you get up into like a tier 1?
I'm not too far behind here. I think this is an easier way to look at it. Oops, no.
I mean, what
So, like,
another
I'm
cool thing
only
too is I know a couple of your horses like fell out of the race early, like the Diamondbacks and who else was it? You were on the D-backs and
the D-backs, the O's got bounced, Kansas City got bounced.
KC, yeah.
Um,
But the Mets could have taken you all the way there.
Yeah.
That's the cool part about it. Like if you start doing all you need is one hot stack.
Right. For sure. And I got lucky with Texas last year, and that was what did it for me, despite not having any of the top overall players. But yeah, I'm only 30 points out of the tier 1 bucket, and with a terrible, sub 100 score that I get to eliminate, I feel like I could make a run. If I really do something special, I can make a run at star, but I'm not holding my breath on that because the reality is that lineups are going to be pretty consistently similar. But I do think that I can make a run at a T1. And we saw from last year, these trophy cards are cool. So I would love to add a cool one to the collection, whatever it may be. And we'll see what happens. But
how far off a star are you?
I am.
It's got to be possible. I mean, you have a big week this week.
Yeah, it's certainly possible, especially with the lowest score that I have. But 857. So what's that? 57 plus 26, 83 points out of star. So it's possible depending on what the low scores are up in here. I got to get my pitching right. Pitching's going to be huge. That's going to be the biggest differentiator because there's a good amount of different options, especially at reliever. But yeah, that's where that's sitting. I had the tier 2 from this past game week. Speaking of, why don't we should I pop open this reward?
Let's do it. Dude, did you see Blake Trinan close out that game with like a 3-inning save basically in against the Mets? He looked so nasty.
I must have missed that one. I've watched most of the games, but I must have missed that.
Dude, he looked filthy. Nice reward.
Neato. All right. 69th, tier 2.
69.
Slade Cecconi. Little rookie card.
There we go.
All right.
You have him already? Is he going to boost your...
Yeah, I already have him. I've got a pretty well-rounded D-backs set up there, but no worries. Wasn't expecting anything great at T2. Nice to grab a reward, though.
Yep.
Yeah. What else you got?
I got nothing, man. I'm pumped for this final game week. I've been spending money because I'm on the I got a lot on the line. So yeah, hopefully we can get in. I will throw a shout out to the group if anyone's listening to this that's trustworthy and wants to do a little swap for the final game week. I'm looking for a 24 Soto and I can offer a 24 Otani. So it could be mutually beneficial. And I got 2 of the Otanis because I won one as a reward, and made a trade for one of them. So I'm basically, in that case, I would be bowing out of the pro contest and just trying to, make the biggest push I can on the champ. So that's kind of my strategy going into it. That's the last piece I need for my lineup. So pretty locked and loaded elsewhere.
I like it. Man, I thought about spending up. I did spend up, and then I've been kind of selling them back off because the best thing I could have hoped for was to go from the $25 to the $50, and I just couldn't justify the added spend. But boy, did I want to for the fun of it. It's such a good time with the chase. But sometimes you got to know when to cut your losses.
I'm really curious how the attrition is going to affect this final week.
Yeah.
Like the Dodgers and the Yankees are the two hardest teams to collect. So, with that said, like not everybody had them throughout the whole entire season. Mm-hmm. And it's just harder to get them. It's easier to get them now than it was back then, but are you going to do that at this point to kind of push all the chips in? I don't know. But that's going to be really interesting to watch as everything goes by. And, it could be very well like basically how I played it last season. We've talked about this before. I did completely fine with guys like, Jose Abreu and Brian Abreu and Presley and like just starting guys like that. Maybe it's Will Smith that's the guy. Maybe it's Andy Pajes that's the guy. Maybe it's somebody that is just going to go crazy that you wouldn't expect. To bring it home for somebody. So yeah, set those lineups.
I think, we talked about this, I think the last time we did a stream. You don't want to go completely crazy and, you're not going to not play Judge, Soto, Ohtani, and Mookie, but you might drop one of them. You might swap one guy in, right? Like you kind of got those four guys in that top tier. You've got Stanton, Muncy, and Teoscar probably in your second tier there. Yep. Edman is a good call. Kike is kind of a wild card, right? He's playoff Kike. I think I texted you the other day that he's Stanton light.
Yeah.
So like it is going to come down to that one flip, right? You don't want to be crazy. Like I think Mookie is the most chalk play at middle infield. The gap from him to Gleyber Torres, who I would say is probably second best there, is massive, right? Whereas the gap from, say, Judge to Teoscar Hernandez, in any given game week, they could have the same score. Yep. It's more likely that Judge does better, but anything can happen in a small sample size. So it's deciding where to make your one wild card play. And it's also about understanding where you are in the standings. It's a lot different if you're in 50th place versus third place. If you're in third place and you're just trying to hold a podium, play that chalk and play the numbers and hope that it works out. But if you're trying to climb, you have to put something different in there. And I know that there's a lot of people excited about the common Judges and Ohtanis and Sotos that they got today, but with no added XP over the people that have had those cards all year, playing a chalk lineup isn't going to do anything for you because everybody has access to it and your card is worse. So you have to understand what you're playing against and what you're playing to do. And if you're trying to climb the rankings, you have to do something that other people aren't doing. Otherwise, you're just going to be climbing the rungs at the same rate that everybody else is.
Yep. Excellently put. Yep. So true. And for me, on something like common, you better believe I'm going to get crazy with it. Like I wanted a certain guys and I want my lineup, right? But, it's fun to mix it up, to be that one guy, like shooting for the podium with, this wild card type of lineup. I like what you said about, most of the time you're going to go chalk, but you can't go completely chalk. There's guys that I'm setting and I don't want to, release my lineup or anything like that. But there's guys that I'm setting that, I'm fading for other guys, on purpose, like I think it's just the way that For me, well, I don't think this is giving away too much, but I'm fading Judge because I haven't had him all year. And I've had Teoscar, who's been just fine for me all year. And I think he's going to step up and have a great postseason. He's slotted right in the middle of the lineup. So my strategy is I'm going to play Teoscar over Judge. Shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. He's got more experience, more experience points for me than anybody else. And he's just been my guy. He's been on almost every
That's
podium
as
that I
good
have.
a reason as
Yeah.
any. Having high XP means that if it hits, you're going to get the most benefit out of it. So like that is the exact type of swap that I'm talking about. You have to make a decision like that. If you're in first place, by all means, play all the chalk, go for it, and just hope that it holds. But like if you're trying to climb, you got to do something like that.
Yep. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see how it shakes out. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be. I'm just excited to watch the World Series, man. To tie it all back to the beginning of the episode, man. It's, I wish it were the Giants and the Red Sox, but it's the Yankees and Dodgers, and it's gonna be cool.
We'll get it at some point.
Yeah, we will. Absolutely. There we go, Mookie. What's going on?
It does feel nice to have a whale lineup, but it's fool's gold.
In comedy. Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah, some of these lineups are fun, and they are fun.
Yeah.
I got nothing else. I know it was a short episode. I think, what do you think about getting back on for one postseason episode after the season kind of settles down sometime before the holidays?
Yeah, I think we've got the World Series running this weekend through hopefully all the way through next weekend. Hopefully next Saturday we get the gift of a Game 7. There's nothing better in sports. I really hope that we are rewarded with a final game like that. But yeah, if we want to find something shortly after that to kind of just recap what we saw, or whatever, we'll definitely get on one more to round out the season.
Let's do it. I'm actually surprised that, I guess, yeah, they're doing 1 day of rest in between each series, which is typical. Yeah.
Yeah, typical, but difficult coast to coast, man. This is a tough travel series for these players. You can't understate that. Like it really is. It's a lot. It's a lot on the body. Dodgers.
This is the question of the hour.
Mookie Betts, baby. Mookie Betts.
You got the Dodgers?
I'm rooting for Mookie Betts hard.
I'm rooting for the Yankees, but I think the Dodgers are going to do it. I really do. I think that this is their year, and can you believe it? Like, pay $500 million for Shohei, and you get a World Series right away. I mean, got to tip the cap at that point.
I mean, it sucks to not have the Sox in the playoffs, but watching the Yankees lose a World Series.
Ooh, I've watched the Dodgers lose many. Trust me, it's great. It's sweet.
Yeah. Would love to see that.
All right, awesome. Well, let's wrap it up then, I guess. Everyone, thanks for joining us today, and thanks for watching, and thanks for just being here the whole season, honestly. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, join us in the Discord to stay in touch. We'll have one more episode going up, one more live stream, just to kind of tie up the whole entire season here. But it's been an incredible season. It was so good that Nate and I had to get back on camera and put together some episodes. So we're looking forward to continuing this into 2025. We got some big plans. Jump in the Discord. Like I said, we'll be in there and we'll keep things going. We got a ton of NBA stuff in there too. An active Sorare football channel and fantasy football also. So plenty of ways to keep in touch, join the community. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Go Sox.
Go Giants.